Hello and welcome. In this video we are going to take a quick look at how to format a drive in Windows 10. Specifically, we are formatting a USB drive. So I currently have a USB drive already plugged into the computer. So what we're going to want to do is locate the letter that's assigned to that drive. Now, if we look in this PC, I already know because I haven't named the drive, so it's called USB drive G. But if it was named something else, it might not be quite as easy to locate the letter assigned to the drive. So if we look at the right bottom hand corner of the screen, there'll be a little icon of a USB drive. And if you click on that, it'll give us a little clue as to what letter has been assigned to that drive. And as you can see, or you might not be able to see because it's not particularly high contrast, but it says eject cruiser blade, and then underneath that it says USB drive G. So, and the other option I suppose is that if you take the USB out and then you plug the USB in, generally speaking what will happen is it will load up within File Explorer and you can see that it says G drive. Okay, so assuming we all know what letter has been assigned to our drive, the drive that we want to format, let's click on Start. Now what I'm going to ask you to do is type in this PC. A little icon on the top left hand corner of the screen will appear of a computer, so click on that. Now we know what drive we're looking for, it's G drive. I just want to make a point here to say that if you have any files on your drive that you want to keep, you're going to want to back those up somewhere else, maybe on your computer or another external hard drive. You need to back these files up because if you format a drive, you will lose all of the files on that drive. So with that said, let's right click the drive and you'll see that there's an option here which says format. You're going to want to click on that. Now there's not really much here that's noteworthy. You've got the capacity, allocation unit size, which will be of no interest to most people, a volume label, so you can name it here if you want, and quick format. And 9 times out of 10 it's the best option, it's the quickest option just to go for a quick format. But what will require a little bit of explanation is the file system. Now obviously if you're formatting a drive, you may already know what file system you want to use. Now if you don't, I would recommend going for NTFS. It's the newest file system. I'm not going to dwell on file systems too much here, so what I'll probably do is leave a link in the description so you can have a little read up about the different file systems because they may be important to you. But just know that NTFS is the latest file system and will provide the most efficient technology for storing your files. It also has some other characteristics, for example, where it allows you to put larger files on the disk, and it also supports formatting larger drives. We've also got FAT32, which is the oldest technology here. It's not as efficient as NTFS and it supports less options. So for example, I think the largest USB drive you can format as FAT32 in Windows is a 32 gigabyte drive or less. Anything larger than that you won't be able to format in FAT32. Certainly not using Windows 10 out of the box. You'd probably have to download some other software to do so. But it's worth noting that actually FAT32 has the widest compatibility. So for example, if you're using a MacBook as well as a PC and you want to basically use this drive across both systems, both operating systems, you're probably going to want to go for FAT32. Now we've also got exFAT. I'm not sure if it's pronounced exFAT or exFAT, but essentially it's essentially a newer version of FAT32. So it's slightly newer. You know, it supports more in terms of options, but it's not as good as NTFS. It's not as efficient as NTFS. Doesn't support as many options as NTFS, but it is actually more compatible. So it's like a newer version, if you like, of FAT32. So that's probably enough of an overview. Just remember, if you're formatting this drive though for something like a security system, maybe a PlayStation, maybe an Xbox, or you want to use it on a MacBook, my advice to you would be to use FAT32. If you're just going to be using this for Windows, anything newer than Windows XP, I believe, you can happily go ahead and use the latest technology, NTFS. And if you're not sure, perhaps give EXFAT a go. I will leave, though, a link in the description, actually, that describes the difference between these three, if you care. And if you don't care, let's just crack on. So in this instance, I'm going to go with FAT32 to provide me with the most compatibility, and I'm going to click Start. And it's just going to give me a little warning here to tell me that all of the files on this disk will be erased. I'm totally fine with that, so let's click OK. Generally speaking, doesn't take too long, and we are done. So click OK and close. And so we have just formatted this drive using FAT32. So I hope you found this useful. If you did, go ahead and like the video for me. And if you want to see similar content in the future, perhaps consider subscribing. And until next time, take care.